Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, wherever you are in the world, and welcome. Welcome to the Infinite Way, where spirituality meets humanity. And it brings me great pleasure to introduce our Leaders and Legacy visitor today, Joy Ruffen. Joy Ruffen is a leadership and style consultant, signature style specialist, speaker, and executive producer. Her journey began at Fit, where she immersed herself in fashion and design before being recruited by Vogue. Traveling across the country, she collaborated with top designers, honing her expertise in branding and trend forecasting. A shift into commercial insurance refined her analytical and strategic skills, yet her passion for style remained unwavering. Merging both worlds, she founded Leading Ladies Leaving Legacies, a platform dedicated to personal, professional, and spiritual growth. Her mission is to empower women to embrace their unique essence inside and out. And as a leadership and style consultant, Joy inspires individuals to step into their power, own their presence, and make a lasting impact. Through speaking engagements, coaching, and workshops, she guides others to cultivate resilience, exude confidence, and build a meaningful legacy. Welcome, Joy.
Oh my goodness. Thank you. What an introduction. Was that all me?
That's was that
Thank
all
you.
you? I heard Vogue in there, and being a native New Yorker
Yes.
and hearing Vogue in there, and anyone who's ever grown up in New York always picked up Vogue.
Yes.
Always picked up Vogue to see what the styles were, what the latest trends were, what the clothes were.
Mhm.
Yeah, especially, that New York City style when you're walking down the street and you see that Vogue style on the street, on the street.
Yes, I'm only chuckling because that excitement that I had back then, I still have today. Vogue is still up there, number one. And it was such a prestigious offering for me as a young lady. And now to have that in my background, it's just wonderful. And I'm honored to have been a part of that and will always be in one way or another. So thank you for that intro.
So you have to allow us to hear the story of how you started out, how this young lady named Joy Ruffin graduates from school, goes out and she goes after Vogue. Please talk to us a little bit about your story.
Oh, happy to do that. Let me tell you, it's good to go back and think back that far. It's been quite a while, but it's been a good while.
No,
But
don't look.
the reality is, it was my last year at the Fashion Institute of Technology, and I had been transferred from fashion design, which is where I started, because Enolia, I come from a family of women on both my mom and dad's side who loved fashion. I don't know many women who don't in different ways. And most of them were seamstresses. So it was just a natural inclination for me to run in that direction. So in the home economics class, I don't even know if they have that anymore. And one of the teachers said to me, I really think you should think about attending the Fashion Institute of Technology. And I was a young boom boom then. And so I did. But while there, I switched from design to fashion buying and merchandising. And
Okay.
there's more to that story. And I don't know how much time we have, but after going out and becoming a fashion merchandising buyer for leading high-end department stores and specialty stores in New York City, Vogue recruited me because I was going into all of the merchandising offices, buying offices, and purchasing clothes. So I got to know many of the merchants there. And somebody put my name into Vogue and said that this young lady would be great for you to have on your staff. And that's how it came about. I was in seventh heaven and amazed. And even today I am. I travel all over the country. I was in every leading high-end major boutique specialty store that you can think of everywhere throughout the states, pretty much so. And I did that for almost 7 years and I loved it. Loved it. Yes.
Phenomenal. That's phenomenal. And navigating that and understanding how to lead, here you are, this young lady, this is a high powered job to
Very.
land this type of job in New York City, the Mecca for the United States for fashion outside of it's New York City. And where else? I don't even know if California even lands on this one. It's New York City, isn't it?
Yes, yes, it's New York City. And the beauty of what I was doing, Enolia, is that from head to toe, top to bottom, hair to shoes, when I went into these stores, like let's say a Neiman Marcus, I
Uh-huh.
went around the store selecting all of the accessories, the clothes, the things, the outfits, the accessories to go with the outfits that Vogue had designed and Vogue Butterick patterns. And it was exciting. It was interesting. And for me, it was thrilling because I really learned about balance and styling individuals. And today it's
Mhm.
quite different because we're in the casual mode, but putting together outfits and doing it in love and all the different silhouettes and figures, it was not only fun and educational for me, it was just I'm in awe when I think about it now. So thank you for bringing that up. I loved every moment of
Oh,
it.
I'm gonna go there. I'm here in Africa, okay?
Yes.
And I and I love dressing the traditional clothing. Why?
Yes.
Because I love wearing dresses. I love
Mm.
wearing dresses.
Mhm.
And going back to America, visiting America, and not necessarily in New York City or California, but all across, we've lost something. We've lost our desire to really just be feminine and own the femininity and own the feminine power. And I want to talk a little bit about that because I felt like, also having navigated the corporate world, right? What did we do? We put on the power suits. If we were dressing like men, why couldn't I put on the power dress? Why couldn't I put on that beautiful dress that emphasized and showed my shape, but basically own it and express my intelligence and express my power? And I actually transitioned to that, I want you to know. But
Yeah.
I noticed that we lost something. Is that what you saw?
Yes, 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 yes. I didn't see that while I was in the industry, in the business, big business.
Okay.
But I did see it after I retired, and in fact, to segue to another, I segued and left the fashion business for a lot of reasons. To truth be told, I became a little jaded, and then I went into
Okay.
the commercial insurance business. And
Okay.
while there, and then after retiring, and met my husband there, I began to see a lot of things. And I think Casual Friday had just kind of started, and it went over and it segued into a different segment of life for most of us. But what you just said is powerful because one of my favorite words now is power. And for
Hmm.
us as the divine, masculine and feminine, because we have both of those within our DNA, it's
Right.
time to own our power in the best way, at its highest level, highest regard, regardless to what your higher belief or source might be. And that's what you're absolutely on point, Enolia. That's what we have lost. We've dropped the ball. But we've done it in a way that we're promoting more of our sexuality than our divine femininity. And I mean in every strata, every level. So I hear you loud and clear. And loving dresses and skirts, it's almost extinct now because everybody's
And
in slacks, pants. Yes.
yeah, at least over there, it's almost extinct. Here, I went to Senegal. And when I was in Senegal, the traditional long dresses that I saw were out of this world.
Mhm.
Every woman looked like
Mhm.
they stepped out of a magazine. It was so beautiful and it was so awe-inspiring. I went and I bought a couple of dresses. I was like, I am not walking around here in blue jeans,
I love it. Yes.
knowing that I could be wearing some beautiful dress and feeling elegant. And you feel it changes how you feel. It changes your persona. It
Mhm.
changes everything within you.
Yes, 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 it does. And I don't know, one of my assignments, and that's why, as far as being here with Womology, your vision and your mission is in alignment with mine. Because even though what you just said is so on point, my work is as a leadership and signature style specialist. It's
Right.
vastly different from, and I'm not knocking because many of them are beyond brilliant, but it's about getting back to our divineness,
Yes.
knowing and loving this temple, this vessel, this body that's ours, regardless to the size. And that's what we have lost. It's become somewhat more projecting in another way that's not really complementary and is veering into all the things that we need to be walking away from because men have always ruled. I'm not about emasculating. We need them, but we need to own our power in a way where it's a partnership that is equality combined
Hmm.
with the divine.
And I would love for you to define power for us. I think this is a perfect moment for you to define
Woo-hoo.
version of what power is.
Oh my goodness, I'm happy to do that because it's so for me, because
Hmm.
I have a lot of issues. And so when people say to me, "Oh, it's easy, it's simple," and I go, "Oh, maybe for you, but not for me." So
Hmm.
when you say, and I was about to say it's very easy, but my understanding and my appreciation and knowing for myself about what power is truly, honestly being authentic, the buzzword for 2023, I think, knowing who you are, learning who you are, and owning your gifts, your talents, and your skills. Knowing that not everyone is going to embrace you, not everyone is going to come under your umbrella, but if you're true to yourself and you know who you are and you love yourself and your heart and soul connected is open to seeing and feeling what you see, but not judging it, then you are on your way to authentic power, power that you own and that no one can take from you. And that's a lot of what we as women are about now. Who was it? Gloria Steinem, who started the women's movement. That was the
Hmm.
seed beginning. Our assignment is to take it further now. And that's what I'm about. I hope that explains to you what power is about. Power is about knowing who you are, loving who you are, being admiring of someone else's gifts. Don't put them on a pedestal. Don't judge them if it's not the way you do things. Be open to learning more about them so you can know more about you and staying in love with you. That's what
Yes.
I think it is.
So I'm going to talk about what power isn't, and I'm going to emphasize what you didn't say right
Yeah,
now because I think it's really, really important. What you didn't say is that power is about controlling someone. And we have this fallacy of thinking that power is about control and manipulation. We have this fallacy that in order to feel powerful, I need to belittle, demean, or step on somebody else, in order to feel bigger. Okay, I'm going there because we
go
need to
there. Go there.
understand the differentiation between what being powerful is, and what you shared is so important because not once did you talk about control, not once did you talk about manipulation, not once did you talk about controlling situations, people, certainty of outcome, or anything of that sort of nature. And this is the misnomer that
Big,
people have
big.
about power.
Enolia, you're much more eloquent than I am. I attempted to stay on the safe route, which is good, but I use the word judgment because when you talk about control, that's when judgment comes in.
Right.
When you're able to look at somebody and say, I don't know, that's not right, and so on, but you're not judging them, you're saying there are other options and other possibilities. That's a big difference because control is what most of us initially start with. And as we get to know who we are, love who we are, feel it in our heart and soul is a combination of words that I use all the time. You don't have time for control. you don't.
Right.
You
Right.
don't. So
You
it's,
don't. And the one thing that we are taught when younger, and I'm really talking to our younger audience out there
yes,
too,
yes.
because some of you are going to be entering into corporate situations, right? And you're entering into all male situations. And when I first did that, I was taught like dress like the man, be like the man, meet the man head to head,
No.
right? And that was a no-no. And it took me half a career of 20 years in the industry to figure out that that's not the way to be. And that I could dress like myself, be my feminine self, be present and stand in my own truth and my own authenticity, and still express eloquently what it is I had to say
Yes. Yes.
powerfully. That it was the power of the words that I was expressing, not the manipulation or control of how I was bullying my way through certain situations, but navigating them eloquently. And I really
Absolutely.
want people to hear this because we have this perception that we have to go head to head. And going head to head doesn't
Um,
mean that you have to be like a man, you know?
No, that's one of the biggest fallacies that started initially with the movement for women, is with that you had to own your power and your strength and control your
Mhm.
body, your brains, your beauty. That's outdated. That's old. We don't have time for that anymore. We have to know who we are and own. When I talk about image, appearance, and how you show up, it's not about your sexuality. It's about owning who you are in a way that not demands, commands respect and admiration for who you are. And that's what somehow, somewhere along, not all of us, it's never all, we have dropped the ball. So all the things you're pointing out, that's my mission, which is aligned with what you're doing here. And when you said you wanted to speak to the younger generation, we need to speak to them because we need each other. We need,
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. And I would love for you to share with us, the way that the leaders and legacy came to fruition as the seed planted. What inspired you to go there and want to bring this and birth this leaders and legacy, type scenario, that you're bringing forward, and the platform that you're bringing forward, and then take us through it and explain it to us.
Well, I would love to do that. And your questions are just so woohoo. I just love them. How did I come to naming my Facebook group and what I'm about to Leading Ladies Leaving Legacies? As I somewhat alluded to in the very beginning of our conversation, being from a deep Southern background with my beautiful church ladies on mom and dad's side, was more or less born and raised in the church. And I hope your audience will hear me because when I say this, it comes from my heart and soul connected. It took me quite a while to get here. I left the
Mhm.
church. I didn't leave God.
Right.
There's a
Right.
big difference.
Big,
So
big difference.
when I came into when hubby and I retired here to the Sunshine State where all the happy seniors go, and I am a happy senior and happy to be each and every day. But I began to realize it was a seed that was planted before. But when I came here and I started out as a hobby to do this, I thought, what is a good name? Because I've always been mesmerized, always, still, but with a lot of differences to the entertainment industry, the communications industry, and the fashion and style industry. Those are my three main umbrellas. And so I began to say, most of us, and you'll hear me say oftentimes, most, many, and some of us, we always kind of gear towards those three industries. And under the communication goes the educational. They all intertwine. But
Mhm.
I'm saying we need, Hollywood was the leading lady. Now, forget about how you want to classify them or label them. But I said, we need more leading ladies in our communities who are about leading others in love, honor, and truth, and leaving a legacy. So one
Mhm.
night in a dream, it just came to me, leading late. And most things, Enolia, come to me that way. I say to
Okay.
you lovingly, and most people that I meet, I'm an alien now, and I'm happy to be one. I say that in love because I'm totally out of the box, and I don't
Right.
do things the way most people do. But that came to me, leading ladies, leaving legacies. And I cannot tell you in love how many people said to me, it's the label, the title is long. But I said, no, I'm going to stick with it. And now I'm so glad that I did because for me, and this is not being grandiose or trying to be Mother Teresa or Goody Two Shoes or something, I see every lady who is about, and they're females, ladies, girls, women, however you want to classify. But I think every lady who has a sense of pride in herself is a
Mhm.
leading lady, regardless of how
Yeah.
she classifies herself. And I think being a leading lady and wanting to, not everyone does, not everyone thinks that far, a legacy, you want to be on the good and truthful, honest path of sharing whatever your knowledge, gift, or skill might be. So that's how I came to it. It came to me in a dream, and then my colors and branding and everything that I do came to me, and that's what I've been doing. I started off for about 5 or 6 years just having fun on Facebook. And now I'm attempting in every way to turn it into a business because I see more and more how we, you, me, all of us, we're needed now. But I love
Right.
my group Facebook, Leading Ladies, Leaving Legacies. And now I'm deciding and putting more effort into putting more time and love into the group. I started with 30, I think it was 36, and now I'm almost up to 800. And I want to get more than that by 1,000 by the end of the year. And I have a lot of
That's
things in the hopper, so to speak. But that's how it came to me. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. And I'm sitting here thinking and listening to you, and I'm at a stage and at an age where I want to leave a legacy. It's important to me what
Me
I
too.
leave,
Me too.
and um many people don't know that we're starting Wombology, but we're starting this beautiful platform on Fave
Mhm.
Unite FM radio
Mhm.
where guests or hosts like yourself are going to be leading stories and interviewing
Yes.
people there and sharing a plethora of knowledge that
Mm-hmm.
has been experienced throughout the years. And I'm so excited about that. And it's important to me to know that I left something that was tangible, that was useful, that
Yeah.
was uplifting, you know. to individuals. And then I also love the fact that how you described everything was from within you. You didn't go external to you, but from within you outwardly. And how
Mhm.
important that is. We're not looking outwardly to have something external to us to lift us up and make us look good and fame or fortune or anything like that. But what you said when you said everyone's a leading lady, that's
Yes.
the common denominator.
Yes.
That is the common denominator. And
Yeah.
leaving a legacy, why shouldn't we be leaving a legacy?
Well, I completely agree with you, but I have to say that sometimes it took me a while to get here. And
Uh-huh.
the journey, it's a journey, it never
Yeah.
ends. When you go within and you're honest with yourself, I like to say the good, the bad, and the so-so. I don't use the
Mm-hmm.
word ugly because I'm not trying to be grandiose here. I don't really see ugly. I see options and possibilities and woo, what could be?
Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
said, what I've discovered, and was painful, Enolia, I thought initially that most everyone would come towards and want to embrace, but a lot just aren't ready. We are part of the collective, and we're all one. And this journey that I'm still on, and that you, and when the legacy that you're going to leave with this wombology, when I first heard the name, I said, "Ooh," but then I thought, and I said, "Ooh," it began to percolate, it began to marinate up here, and all of a sudden, it's embodied in me now. Why not? It's a great because every creation begins there in some way or
Every
one way or
creation.
another. And your
That's right.
vision and what you when you speak of women's voices, it resonates with my soul because we are to begin to completely eliminate the copy, comparing, and competing. Those days are gone for those who want
Yeah.
to leave a legacy and who are in leadership. It's our time now, but it's our time to own our power without bashing, blasting, or blasting or emasculating men. That's not the way to go. Or
Mhm.
women.
Or women for
That's
that matter.
or women.
Absolutely.
Yes. I thought everybody would come under, but not really. Some just aren't ready. And that's why you're going to love this. I know you will. I came with this mantra. I read The Three Musketeers when I was about 12 or 13. I fell in love with it. I didn't know why. All for one and one for all. That's my mantra for women now. All
Okay.
for one and one for all, because that's where we have to go.
So there was a project that I did, and it was bringing a poem to fruition. I have to share this with you offline,
Yes.
but
Okay.
that poem read two lines, and the poet she said, "I accept the extraordinary. When I expect the extraordinary, it will find me. I accept the extraordinary, and I will find it."
Ooh, I
Okay,
love that. Oh,
and
send that to me. I love that.
yes, I will. I'm going to actually send you. There's on my YouTube. We actually did a whole complete show, and we had the two lines sung in like 20 different countries, so that everyone would hear it. And it's really really powerful. And I love being a part of the project. One of the legacies that I lead is that many people come to me, oh, I wish I could do this. Oh, I wish I could do that. And this particular poet, she came to me and she's like, oh, her name's Anu, not Impali. And she
I
was like,
love
oh, I
it.
wish I could, bring my poem to fruition. I've always envisioned that people would sing it all over the world. And I was like, well, why can't we do this? I know singers. Can you find five singers? And I'll find five singers. And we did it. And we had women sing it all over the world. And it's so beautiful because I'm here in Angola, and Portuguese is the language here in Angola. And I sang it in Portuguese at a women's empowerment palestra, which is a workshop that I was doing. And the women picked it up immediately, and started singing.
That's powerful.
Love
That reminds me of the Michael Jackson. I always think put him first. We are the world. It's the same kind of a concept. Fantastic. Fantastic. I'm a wordsmith in my way because of my many learning issues that I deal with. But when you mentioned that and brought that, I love poems. I always have. And there's so many. So you must send that to me because it really is. It's just a time. Even though politically, and I don't speak to politics, sex, and religion, not really in depth, unless I really know the person, because it's a waste of energy unless somebody's really open. But when you talk
Mhm.
about being a wordsmith and how to use your words and how you relay and connect, I think that's powerful. And I feel somehow we've lost that. I don't know when,
Yes.
where, and how, but it's easy for you to tell me, "Oh, Joy, blah blah blah," but there's a way that you can say things to people that they're not offended. That's my
Exactly. Yeah. And at this point, the things that we emphasize in our speech are not the things that we should be focused on, in my opinion, in my humble opinion.
oh my
Okay.
goodness.
We need to
Yes.
be focused on the power of our words, the power of our words in which what we say and the content by which we say it
Yes.
is the most important thing, not how we I don't know. It's hard to put my fingers on it, but when I read like the masters and how
Mm-hmm.
eloquent they spoke,
Mm-hmm.
how eloquent, and I don't mean just the male masters. I mean male, female. It doesn't
Mm-hmm.
matter, but how eloquently they spoke in order to deliver a message.
We have lost that.
And the beauty of that speech, we've lost the pentameter, we've lost the rhythm, we've lost the elegance of words, and this
We have.
the use of a vocabulary that just
Mm.
allows us to truly embody
Yes.
what we want to say.
Yeah, it blows me away, and yet I attempt always to be open and understanding of it, but the political correctness that most people are dealing with, the sensitivity of you don't want to hurt somebody's feelings, there's a way, as I alluded to before, that you can do that. I never will forget, Enolia, once on a fantastic around the world type of cruise that hubby and I did, not bragging, simply sharing this. We met this brilliant doctor and his wife who was a librarian. And this stuck in my craw. I could not release this, but now I understand why. I don't know how and where the conversation, I'm not going to go there, but she said, I said, the people who, it annoys me because one of my teachers pulled me aside in high school and said, Joy, it's not asked. You don't ask them, you ask. And she gave me a means and a way to pronounce that. And I was so grateful for her. But the way she did is she put her arms on my shoulder, her hand on my shoulder, and she pulled me to her and she said, and she gave me a compliment. And then she delivered. But the librarian said, well, I don't want to interfere with their upbringing and their environment, and that would be insulting and so on. I'll never forget that because I'm saying, who is going to correct? And now we have people in our communications industry, in every industry speaking, they're billionaires, some of them, but we condone everything. So anyway, how did I get here?
I know we were talking about the power of words and the elegance of them
Oh,
and the beauty of them. Yeah, yeah.
it's not necessary,
So
but that's where we come. That's where we come to. And you and I and this group here, this community, this circle of love that we're in, I think it's going to be our assignment to ultimately be the new examples of what can be.
yes, yes, yes. I totally agree.
Mhm.
So share with us your vision. What is your
Mm.
vision for leading ladies, leading legacies?
My vision is a big one. The ultimate end goal that I have in mind before I leave the planet, and I I know without question that I'm going to accomplish it. I don't know how, but I know it is written. I want to, and I'm not attempting to emulate what Oprah did because that's
Mhm.
another saga. I don't want to go there. But I really want to build is another one of my big words, a school for young girls
Okay.
to come and really learn how to be young ladies. I don't mean the prim, the proper, the prudish, the petty kind of crapola that's out here. I mean, learn to be a lady. I think that somewhere along the way, the term lady has been misconstrued and it's not used as gals and girls and all these other names. But
Hmm.
I want to build a school where, and I hope it will populate in different places where girls can go and learn how to show their everything, but in a way that commands admiration, respect, and love that's universal. Now, that
Oh, I love.
sounds very broad based, but that's my ultimate aim. And I know for certain, I feel it in my soul that everything begins with me, with you,
Yeah,
with me. And so I
yeah.
want to be that example. I'm not talking about being proper and always on point, not making mistakes, always showing up with hair and makeup and everything. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about being true to your word, honoring your word, and let your actions speak before you say anything. Let your
Mm.
presence speak for you. That is my ultimate aim for leading ladies leaving legacies.
That is so beautiful. And I absolutely love that. And so, wow, I see it. I see your vision. I see your vision populated all over, and it's so needed. It is so, so
Yes,
needed because
yes.
people will say, oh, divine feminine and everything else, but I think we've lost sight of what feminine actually really is.
Exactly, exactly. And I say that because before the pandemic, I'm getting ready to go back now. Another part of my saga, the story, is I almost became a juvenile delinquent. So when I came here to Florida, I started to volunteer with the Juvenile Delinquent Center. And
Hmm.
I cannot tell you, you think that I was going there to give them? I cannot tell you what I received. And what I received is that more than ever, what I just mentioned to you is needed. It's needed because these young girls were heavily concentrated, vastly different each and every saga story for each of them, but about the body, the body, the body. The body is great, but not the way we're promoting it. So that's
No.
how I've come to, I had that seed before, then it began to really mushroom in my noodle that this has to be, we have to do this and do it with grace and love.
It's amazing how younger people can teach us so much. There's been so many instances that
Hmm.
I've been here and I've learned so much about the various different cultures. So here in Africa, in New Zealand, and the different perspective that way, and then being in Europe and a different perspective that way, and then being in Asia and a different perspective that way. I mean, and what you're saying is so important because the emphasis placed on what being a woman is varies from
Yes.
culture to culture,
Right,
you
right.
know? And, like here in Africa, it's prided on are you able to really keep the internal home? And it's not just about, people go, oh, cooking and cleaning, how subservient is that? But no, when you're able to process food and gather food from a natural state and process it all the way through to feeding your
Mhm.
family, it means that if a grocery store didn't exist, you would be able to keep that home. And that's important
Mm.
to them
I
here.
like that expression. I've never heard that, but I like it. It's something resonating when you said internal home.
Yes, the internal home. So inside the walls of the home is owned by the woman. She keeps everything, and she
And
keeps
inside the
the
body.
internal home. It's like the internal. Yeah, she keeps the spirit of the home. She keeps the fire of the home. She keeps the home.
I love that. I love that. I have to tell you that what I'm seeing, not judging, but I feel it and I see it, is that the body has become the big focus for young and mature women now, especially those who've not discovered or found themselves. Is
Mhm.
showcasing the body. I call it lovingly the two B's and the V. You know what I mean by that? The two B's and the V. That's not the end all be all and the essence of us. We are
Right.
so much more. And until we can own that and showcase that, that commands respect, because sexuality comes and goes. That's why this anti-aging thing, not because I'm a happy senior, aging is inevitable, but how are you going to do it?
Hmm.
Going to do it
Yeah.
with grace and love and respect for your temple? That's what I'm
Right.
about.
And then I love the fact that, in native culture, right there on Turtle Island, which is America, Northern Canada, and United States, the teepee represents the womb and the internal fires that are kept within the teepee and the opening of the womb. And so all these representations is about us holding the value of our bodies with the deepest respect. And I think it's important that we talk about this too because there sometimes is a lack of respect that takes effect. And I'm going to say this, like in the United States for a while the fashion was get a hysterectomy, you don't need your womb. Baloney. Baloney. A lot of women were getting recommended
Mhm.
hysterectomies. A
Mhm.
lot of women were being told, oh, well, you're at a stage or an age where it's useless. You don't need it anyway, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, wow,
Hysterectomy
wow.
is easier, blah, blah, blah. And I emphasize this because I learned when I was in Chile that the Amazonian women of Brazil created the right of the womb, which is another reason that it's so important to me. And the right of the
Mm.
womb was to remind women that the womb is not a place for fear or pain, but the womb is a place to create and give birth to new life. And not just new life, new paradigms, new
Mm.
innovations,
New
new
paradigm.
everything. Why? Because one of our powers is gestation.
Yes.
We are capable of taking a vision, ideas, a framework, totally gestating it because we know how to gestate it and birth a vision and birth something that we can bring to fruition to our here and now.
That's
So
mhm. Mm.
that that's another emphasis on that wombology piece for me. It's just like I hear the Amazonian women emphasizing it and reminding us the power of our wombs and the power of that gestation and the power of that femininity and masculinity that we contain and we hold in this container.
Yes. Beautifully, beautifully said. And that word connecting with the power of the womb, the which is the birthing center of creativity. It can
Yes,
go off into so many different realms, but
yes.
that's why the more and more I embrace that word and I began to see and feel it, I know that you are the pioneer and the trailblazer. You can put on your tiara of trailblazing this path for many other women, girls, ladies, whatever, females to travel on because it's needed. Wombology and the love of the womb and the appreciation, the creativity of it, and the feminine divineness of it is what we are here to embrace now, starting now. I call it the awakening. It's time to awake to value in love this temple, this body. I think so.
I love it. I can't believe we're coming up on an hour already. Oh my goodness. This conversation went so fast, and I could talk to you for hours, a native New Yorker.
Mhm. You got it.
Holding you near and dear to my heart. So, is there anything that you want to share with our audience to leave them with tangibly as the women that you are uplifting and tell us how they can find out more about leading ladies leaving legacies.
Absolutely, positively. This is, no, I don't believe the time has gone already. It seems like we just started, but you and I could go on forever and ever, and we will over time. I think we're going to share a lot together. But what words of wisdom would I like to leave you with? I'd like to leave you with love of thyself.
Mm.
It's a journey, it takes time. It will not most likely happen overnight. It could, but it's a journey. But that journey entails getting to know you, birthing the essence and the core of who you are. This saying that I mentioned earlier, embrace it because it's time for us as women to be aware and awaken all the power that's innately within us in love, all for one and one for all. Let's end this trifling stuff. We don't have time for it, no matter what generation you're in. It's time to bring your gift, the genius and the greatness of you to the fore, and to share it with others in love. Those who are ready to walk and ride the trails with you. And if not, leave them and send them love and kisses. It's not about judgment. It's about knowing where you are, loving where you are or where you're going, and helping others to go and ride with you on the journey. That is my only prayer for all of us, myself included.
Oh, that is so beautiful. Thank you so much. And I would be remiss if I did not have you share about your podcast. You absolutely have to share about your podcast. People can check out your YouTube. Please do share some of the things that you have going on right now. It's really important.
Well, you know what? I got excited because of being here, but I forgot you did ask me to mention that. You can find me, joyruffen.com, on my website. And then I would love it if you would come and be a member on my Leading Ladies Leaving Legacies Facebook group. It's just Joy Ruffen, Leading Ladies Leaving Legacies, my Facebook group. And then I'm everywhere. I'm on YouTube and all the other social media platforms. And however you say hello, whether it's Facebook or LinkedIn or Instagram or YouTube or in all the others, that I'm part of, but not don't frequent as often. I would love to meet you and greet with you and see how we can support each other, always in love. And that said, I look forward to meeting you at some point soon. That's it.
Thank you so much. This
Thank
was
you.
Joy Ruffen, Leading Ladies Leaving Legacies. And I just want to thank you so much for being on The Infinite Way, where spirituality meets humanity. And if you like this episode, please do subscribe. I know somebody out there is needing this information, so please do share this episode and know that you are helping someone step into their power. So, again, thank you again, Joy.
Thank you. My pleasure. Thank
And we'll see you next time on The Infinite Way, where spirituality meets humanity. Bye bye for now. Bye bye.
you. Cheers.